I know. Just bear with me. Yes, the news is true. The ban that was put into effect yesterday has now been reinstated today. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions. It's been a ridiculous 24 hours, especially when it comes down to the market. So Trump yesterday was not a big fan of the block that was put by federal court on his tariffs. It was announced earlier today. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I was one of the first people that posted it. Again, that's where I post more updates as well as for our LPP team. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's the fourth link in the description down below. I think fourth or third. With that being said, yes, the news is true. They have been reinstated, and here's what you need to know. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So just so you guys could see my short on ticker symbol AI, I ended up not adding more or trading more on this short. I made my $3,000. And like I said, I made my money and I bounced. I knew that market conditions were going to be somewhat choppy just due to all the uncertainty that was going on. And from the lows that we made in the morning to the new lows that we made, I mean, there wasn't much progress. Overall direction was definitely bearish, especially if you look at the 5-minute time frame. It kind of slows things down and you can see that descending pattern, but it was nothing crazy. On the 4-hour time frame, markets are still incredibly bullish. There is no break-if pattern just yet, but it doesn't mean that we can't get it. One of the first things that I want to announce is that yes, Trump's news on glance, at a glance. So tariffs reinstated for now, roller coaster of court decisions. For those that kind of just want a little bit more of better understanding, is President Trump's tariffs remain in place at least for now after an appeals court ruled that his administration can continue to collect import fees. These are the tariffs. The latest ruling came just a day after a separate court ruled that Trump had overstepped his power, a judgment that his administration has pushed back against. So the appeal is still being put in place, but as of right now, it has been reinstated. And as long as this appeal process is still in place, Trump can continue to negotiate negotiate these tariffs. In my personal opinion, I just think that it makes it look odd for probably the rest of the world to see our government, our federal government, our federal courts going against our president about what he can or cannot do. It seems like we don't really understand, or they don't really understand, because it's not really necessarily us, right? It's them, of what they can or cannot do. So it's just an odd position to be in. I don't think it makes us look very strong. I think that's safe to say. I don't want this to get political in the comment section. I mean, you guys can try to banter with one another for all you want. It boosts my engagement, but don't waste your time, right? Your job shouldn't be to convince other people. It's just like, let's take this information for what it is. As of right now, there is uncertainty. The thing that I do also want to provide you is, of course, we talked about, the tariffs being reinstated. This is kind of an uncertain thing that I want to make sure that you look into, or at least pay attention to. Remember the trade war between China and the U.S. Remember that they said that they were in talks. They were going to continue to negotiate. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent says that trade talks with China have stalled. If you watch that interview, I was going to play the interview. It's just so odd. He seems like he's almost reading off of a prompt, but that he can't read. It almost looked like Joe Biden. He says that he believes more talks will happen over the next weeks. This explains recent escalations with China. So this is in my opinion, what everyone expected. China is a world superpower. You don't have to agree with me, but it is, right? That's a fact. And in my opinion, it's just, if the U.S. could not get the European Union, the U.K., China, or Mexico to actually sign an agreement, what makes you think that we're going to sign an agreement in a timely manner with China? Remember, these are 90-day pauses that cause the market to recover because it temporarily pauses these tariffs. That's all I want you to be aware of. These are pauses, they're not signed agreements, and it looks like the negotiations have, at least for now, have paused. And I don't blame China. I mean, they have their own thing going on, but now looking with kind of the chaos that's going within the United States between government and president, it doesn't put Trump in a very powerful position, or at least it doesn't look like he is, right? Something that we'll definitely have to follow up with, but again, definitely something to pay attention to, because if we see that China begins to back away from trade talks and begins to no longer want to deal with the U.S., then yes, more uncertainty will follow. Who knows how Trump will respond? Will he slap them with more tariffs, therefore dropping the markets further? I just want you to understand where we currently stand, right? This is directly from U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent saying that China talks have stalled. Something to be aware of. And kind of good news. So I am having a press conference tomorrow. This is from Trump at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time with Elon Musk at the Oval Office. This will be his last day, but not really, because he will always be with us, helping all the way. Elon is terrific. See you tomorrow at the White House. So again, it's kind of just like a little farewell party, I guess, for Elon, and I'm sure they'll have some conversations. I don't know if you saw Elon's recent interview where he kind of gave his opinion about the big, beautiful bill. He was not a big fan of, as many Americans or Republicans weren't, of the deficit that was added to our current deficit, right? Because the total toll that it was going to add was around $4 to $5 trillion to our current deficit. And he wasn't a big fan of that. He kind of had this little quirk moment where he said, you can have a beautiful bill and you can have a big bill, but you can't have it both, right? You have to either, have a beautiful bill that's efficient or a big bill that obviously comes with these big promises, but then it's going to be very costly. So something that we can talk about a little bit more tomorrow. I mean, this is going to make things very interesting for tomorrow at market open. It looks like markets are still dropping. We'll see if the fear continues to get injected into the weekend. And if so, I want to remind you, tomorrow I will be hosting a free live trading session. And all you literally need to do is be subscribed to the channel, drop a thumbs up on this video, and right at market open, I'll be going live here on YouTube. So as long as you're subscribed and you have your post notifications, YouTube should notify you when it is that I go live. I also will be posting the link on Instagram. So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's the third or fourth link in the description down below. So I hope to see you then. Hope that I earned a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.